So this is modular synthesizer. It's really pretty much similar thing to this one, but it has much more things to do. So today we have computers, we have iPods, other digital things. So you only have to download little program, install it, and you can have everything. You can have drum machine, you can have sequencers, all kinds of instruments. But at the time when there was no computers, people invented first synthesizers, and they realized that by modulating electronic signals you can actually do any kind of sound. For example, if somebody is playing with flute, you connect the microphone to the flute, you look to the oscilloscope that shows the signal, and you see the signal is like this. Okay, so I plug some cables, I do it the same, I plug the speakers, and I will hear the same sound. And if you close your eyes, you can even think that it's a real flute playing, but actually it's electronic thing. So, what it has? As this thing, it has a tone generator, very simple thing, and it's generating the frequency from the lowest frequency to the highest frequency that humans can hear. So it's from, I don't know, about 15 Hertz to 20,000. So this is just basic signal. It's sine wave, then we have triangle wave. Sorry. Then sawtooth. And pulse wave. And this is the thing that all modular analog synthesizers should have, because without oscillator you cannot do anything. So everything starts from this thing. And then we have a lot of different modules. I don't have a lot of them because I'm doing them by myself, so it requires a lot of time, a lot of money. So it's just filter, envelope generator, white, pink noise. It sounds like this. It's just random frequencies, white noise. And then, what else? This is a sequencer. It's really cool thing because this synthesizer can be controlled by keyboard, like a piano, but it's monophonic, so you can only press one note at a time. You cannot play like a lot of notes in one time. That's not so nice, but what I can do. So, what the sequencer does, it helps you to play a melody. So if and by the way, you have to make a lot of cables, because when you start from sine wave and you want to do something more, you have to go through the cables and add something more. If you have a lot of things like this, I mean whole room, you can play anything. You're like God, man. So I connect the sequencer, and it's controlling the oscillator very simply. Every note is just a different voltage. You have voltage from 0 volts to 9 volts. So if it's 9 volts coming this way, you can even plug the simple battery to the oscillator and it will change the frequency. So if it's 9 volts then the sound is very, very high. If it's 0 volts, it's very low. And this is it. So, for example, I do like this, another note this, another note this, blah blah blah. I start the sequencer, and it's controlling that thing. We have melody. Yeah. Great. So you could say, okay, it's like beep 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 beep, and this is it. But okay, then there's a filter. From nothing to everything. Okay, I don't have so many hands to do like this all the time. But there's another module that is making, how to say, okay, it drops the voltage from to the low voltage and rise it up, so you can control the filter with this one. So then you can do things like this. And so on. You can even, it's really cool because it's all about signal, electronic signal. So you can use any kind of signal. For example, I have a little radio here. So if the melody is playing, you can mix it with that melody. And another cool thing about this instrument is that every time you sit next to it, you improvise. There is no score. Okay, there is some scores written for the analog synthesizers, but for example, if I made a song like this, I only can record it. If next time I will sit, I can plug all the cables at the same jacks. I can try to put the knobs at the same position, but it will never be the same. And playing live performance with such a thing is really difficult because you play one song, then you want to absolutely change the mood or something, so you have to unplug everything and start from the beginning, from the oscillator. And it's never endless. You can have 5, 10, 50 oscillators, 10 filters. There's a lot of more other modules. For example, I can have like 10 sequencers. So one sequencer is playing like for a few minutes, like 10 circuits. After 10, it will turn on another sequencer, so another melody will play. But you need to have a lot of modules. It seems that it's really difficult, but there was a lot of friends of mine who were playing with this synthesizer, so I only showed them the basics that I showed to you, and they made absolutely nice things. You know, this thing is recording?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, so here. So I imagine that the people who works in this horizon fabric, if they would see this thing, they would say, ah, it's really simple, okay, sine wave, nice, but like, why do you need that for music? Yes. And for the end, I will show you how it looks like from another side. No computer, no processor, just a lot of cables, a lot of resistors, transistors, capacitors, and other cool things. And if something breaks, you only have to change a part of something. So, questions? In English, please.
So, who did invent this synthesizer?
Huh?
Who did invent this synthesizer? You? Or this?
This one.
Oh, no, the analogs, I mean.
Actually, after the World War II, there was a lot of crazy people who started playing music with electronic things. But officially, Bob Moog, this name, the Bob Moog in America, he was the first who started like selling them and making all the modules. And at that time there was, for example, you know a film Clockwork Orange? So there was a composer, Wendy Carlos, and the music for that film was written with, I don't know, like huge synthesizer, a lot of cables. So it's from 70s. No computers, analog. Yes. But this one, I said I'm doing it by myself, but actually I'm not so good in electronics. I'm just copying those modules from the internet. There's everything, schematics, PCBs. I just